Testing. Hi, Carol. Are you here? Good morning, Kelly.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to our council meeting. Today is June 3rd. Before we get started, as we do in the first council meeting of every month, we invite one of our community leaders, and today we have Pastor Clyde Fujikawa from the Church of the Pacific. If you could come up, sir. That is fine. Just make sure the mic is turned on.
For those of you who don't know me, I am Pastor Clyde Fujikawa Lu of the Church of the Pacific, and I have a few words that I'd like to share with you and a short prayer. As I thought about this message, I came to realize that being a pastor is just like being a council member, a leader. Each of us is a servant leader, and I believe this with all my heart, called of God to serve and to lead. It is a difficult place and a position and a job, if you will, to call it that. You know, people see us and they go, wow, you're a pastor, you're a council member. They don't realize what goes with being a leader like this. They don't know how we stay up at night sometimes thinking about what somebody said. They don't think about how difficult it is to do what you do. They don't see that side. They don't see how sometimes it's difficult to be nice. You know? My words of wisdom to you are that being called of God to be leaders, servant leaders, maintain your integrity. Be trustworthy. Make your word count. Because when we don't and we compromise, it always comes back to us. We are not going to please all the people all the time. We may not even please some of the people some of the time. But if we maintain our integrity, our word, and be trustworthy to God and to ourselves, we can continue to do the job that God has called us to do. Might we bow in a word of prayer? Almighty Heavenly Father, bless these council members here and the people in this room, Lord. Fill them with your Holy Spirit. Guide them. Help us in our relationship with people, with other people, Lord. Guide our actions, guide our decisions with your loving kindness. And we pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Gentlemen, lady, thank you for your hard work. If nobody told you that in the last 10, 20, 30 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Okay, we do have a public hearing on resolution number 2026-16. Clerk, can we read the notice, please?
Notice is hereby given that the Kauai County Council will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. or soon thereafter in the Council Chambers, 4396 Rice Street in Room 201 in the Historic County Building in Lihue on the following. Resolution number 2026-16, resolution authorizing the acquisition of a public pedestrian beach access easement in land required for public use, to wit, a public pedestrian beach access to Aliomanu Bay, Anahola, County of Kauaʻi, Hawaii, and determining and declaring the necessity of the acquisition thereof by eminent domain. This resolution proposes to authorize the county attorney to institute eminent domain proceedings to condemn a 10-foot public pedestrian beach access easement along the stream located adjacent to TMK 449-004-013, situated at Aleomanu, Kauaʻi, Hawaii, for public use and recreation, biological and ecological stewardship, and educational purposes. Chair, we have no written testimony on this matter.
Thank you. Do we have any registered speakers?
Not at this time.
This would be your time if you're going to do it.
Yeah. Do you want to speak? Okay. Okay, come on up. So you'll have 3 minutes. Your green light will start. Your yellow light says you have 30 seconds left, and the red means your time is up. And you can come back on a second run for a second 3 minutes.
Good morning, Councilmember.
Just state your name for the captioner.
John Marks. The mechanic shop that you guys put it.
Oh, this one, Mr. Marks, this is for the condemnation of the
I
property.
know, but the mechanic shop it going to be at the place. It's not a good outcome.
No, that is, you can testify on that when we get to the budget. But this is for the public hearing for the condemnation of a land out in Aleomanu.
I got a lot of things to say.
Okay, it has to be pertaining to the Aleomanu land.
The Kauaʻi Rec Center. The Kauaʻi Rec Center, the place is a disaster. The place is hot, and the place, why you gotta wear socks? Building like that for whatever the team we had this weekend. It's not very good. You can't drink something in there. It's not good.
Okay, sorry. Because of the agenda posting, we can only talk about what's on the agenda. And the agenda today is on the purchase.
I know, but I'm just telling you about that.
Yeah, I know, but I cannot let you talk about that because of the law, the Sunshine Law.
They're on this particular one right now. That's going to come up in a little while.
Yeah, you can come during when we bring up the budget. Sorry about that. How many people are here to testify on this today? Okay.
Are we?
Go ahead.
Okay. Aloha kakahia kakako. O Shaylin Kehaunani Ornelis. Kauaʻi noa. Wailua nui hawano maio. I apologize, I'm mahi today, but I just wanted to take a moment to explain to you how we got here. I am thrilled. I chaired the Public Access Open Space Commission. I'm the longest serving member on that commission. I'm so happy that we're here today. A little bit of historical background. This issue came to light many years ago when I was substituting at Kanui Kapono Public Charter School. I didn't have any children at home, and so I decided to jump back into teaching after I left full-time teaching years before. And it really saddened me to see our haumana with their backpacks on their heads, walking through the stream to get to the living classroom where they could study with Nalani and learn about limu, learn about the reef, the ecosystem that exists out there in Aleomanu. And some of our little kindergarteners couldn't even, they're little. To hoist this backpack lunch, it just troubled me so deeply. And so when Nalani brought the issue to us, it just seems right. There's been, in the course of this journey, I believe 3 landowners, willing and then not willing. It's just been a roller coaster ride for us. And so I'm really hopeful that we can take this to the finish line. There are thousands of students and visitors and citizens of this Aina who benefit from the Hosea Level Foundation and the work that they do out there on the Apapa. And so I fully support this resolution so that we can go after this piece of property and we don't need to see our keiki and kupuna walking in the stream anymore. I thank you so much for your support of this reso, and mahalo for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for your work on the commission as well. Anyone else?
Good morning.
Morning.
It's on. Good morning. Aloha, Chair and Council members. My name is Nalani Kaneakua. I'm a lineal descendant of the Anahola village, Anahola Kauaʻi. Excuse me, also the president of the Jose Labo Foundation and program director for the Ko'olaulimu project. I did want to make a note. When I looked on the acquisition, it says Aliumanu Anahola. So Aliumanu is land division, one of 10 in the district of Ko'olau. So that Ahupua'a is not part of Anahola. So I just wanted to clear that. It's really, really small. It is one of the most, I think only 500 acres is occupied by, out of maybe like 1,200 by residents, and used to be farmland also. So I don't know when it became a destination for TVRs. Excuse me?
No. Go ahead.
So, Kalamai, when that happened, a lot of our cultural practices diminished rapidly when all the homes along the coast were being built. So we've used that area all our life for gathering, for food, cultural practices, medicinal use, harvesting limu, and many other things. Some of the best memories came from fishing in that area. Pai Pai, my dad had a kaka line. I did want to share some of the work that we have been doing and using that space for, I don't know how this works, for probably I value your time and others that are going to speak, but this is what it looks like out there. Every time we have program, we have could be a handful to sometimes up to 50 students. So they come and they learn about the area, they learn about conservation, they see erosion, they see that we cannot access, they see no trespassing signs, they see keep out, stay out, etc. When all we really want to do is get the kids out there to learn about their culture, to learn about the area. Many of these kids has never collect marine debris, thank you very much, and create something out of it, something fun. Many of these children has never been on the reef, ever. So it's an experience for them when they get out there. That is a stream that we're talking about, one stream that feeds this entire Bay Area. Very important that that stream continue to flow to nourish the ocean. That's where we...
How many others are going to testify?
I'm going to jam real quick.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to let her have about 3 minutes
Okay.
so she can finish her
Thank
presentation.
you so much.
Is that okay? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So real quick, we do limo presses, identify, taste limo. We have women of Lao practitioners. We have a variety, a range, high school students. This is the area we're talking about. Sometimes it's open, sometimes depending on the stream flow, depending on how much king tides. These are the kids in the water. Look at that. They're cleaning our limo cages. This is my granddaughter. She got to come with me. So again, visitors from Tahiti. I can go on and on and on. This is a activity that is very popular where they make lei limu and they get to wrap it around a pohaku. Groups come, they give a oli or a mele or even say whatever they want to say. They get to go in the water and they get to plant. They plant limu there. This is what the lei looks like. Again, we're right at the stream. We've brought thousands and thousands and thousands of people from all ages. We've held summer programs there, teach our keiki and even kupuna who have not been back to that space. It's a ancestral awakening for them when the kupuna get there and they're looking at limu and they're smelling the limu. they cry because that's what it means to them. We don't want to lose this. We want our keiki to come and see this place that their kupuna once walked through, once got on that apapa, once touched a limu. And I support the acquisition to acquire a true condemnation for this access, that we can continue to provide this living classroom, and it's really what it is for our future. We've got halau, keiki hula, kane. We've had Lena Alla's group. We've had summer program. This is amazing. I wanted you guys to see this. This limo right here is called limo ele. When we first started a 3-week program, I noticed it. It was 6 inches, and the kids was like, "Kumu, what is this?" I said, "This is a green limo, which is older than all of us put together. It's one of the first limo ever put. If you go and look at the Kumulipo, if you're familiar with, it was born in 3 weeks. We measured, it went to 60 inches, and we couldn't believe what we were witnessing. And I was just blown away. And it was super thick. The water got clear. This is like the filter, right, between the ocean, the stream and the ocean. It cleans out. This limo was trying to get to the ocean. Had about another 10 yards. It was literally trying to get to the ocean and provide and do their job as filtering the stream before it gets into the ocean. So this was something really, really, really amazing. Some of the areas that we have to kind of scale the side when we were being blocked off, and just groups that came through. So I want to thank you guys so much for your time, and mahalo nui. Aloha.
But
Okay. Anyway, I brought the map, so, I guess I have some questions as far as, this was the only plan. Okay, so I guess, well, what happened to the camera? I'm going to...
Okay, we'll call a meeting back to order. I'm sorry? Yep. Okay, and restart Mr. Lindner's time.
Jeff Lindner for the record. Aloha, council members. Is that map going to be on there? Anyway, yeah, so you can see the map. I guess in what is good, I guess it would have been nice to see a sort of a planning of sort of, if it's been 10 years and they're ready to do it, it would have been nice to see, how they, they would do it, I guess. But because you can see there's a, it just says 10 foot, but see the 10 foot is going to go along right here, right? And so I guess, and then there's a parking, I guess is another question, right? But yeah, so, it's not that I'm not supporting, the condemnation, that's fine, right? But I guess I'd like to sort of maybe save you some money, maybe, right? Because, I've lived there 40 years and no one's ever stopped me from going through there, right? And so, I don't think you can, I don't think you can condemn if somebody lets you go through the property. So, before you sort of spend a lot of money doing it, and the thing is, it's already there and everybody can go through it, and so, are you getting it? Okay. Anyway, yes. So this is the map, and you can see the bridge was right there, and that the top of the last parcel on the right with the blue around it, is where the road stops. So they have all of this. Where's the pointer? Anyway, they that road is, I don't know how wide, but that's all the county's road. So I thought it would be good for people to see that. That should have been included, I guess, and also to explain that the 10 feet is along the river on the north, right? And so. Yeah, and then I guess if you're looking at it, you've got the other side, which is the road ends there too. So, I guess the thing is have you guys, have people complained about not, going through there? Huh? Oh, people have told them not to? Okay. Oh, so really? Is that, it's documented. Okay. I guess.
3 minutes.
Okay, but I'm just saying you could also get a use of it, indefinite use with an agreement that it's something, right? But, people are using it, right? So, anyway, okay. Right, but I think there's an agreement. But does that mean are you saying people shouldn't be using it now? That's okay.
This public hearing is just one-sided and we don't have...
Right.
But just for clarification, the reason their condemnation is moving forward is because they have been unable to get an agreement.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Okay. So, but then I would say on the parking, somebody should address the parking because that, is an issue too. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, Lonnie Sykos. I'm in support of this because I think back to the late 70s and 80s when the public turned out in mass over the 15 years or so, hundreds of thousands of people in Hawaii turned out for beach access. So I lived on Maui at the time. It was huge. We get 10,000 people show up as the beach access was attempting to be blocked by resort development and parking lot expansions. So Hawaii State Supreme, I don't remember when it was, but in the late 70s, early mid-80s maybe, State Supreme Court ruled that the Hawaiians have a right of access to their natural resources, and the Constitution, by forbidding discrimination based on place of origin and ethnicity, that applies to everybody. So everybody in the state of Hawaii has the right of access for cultural reasons, fishing. That's me. I mean, I'm born in Oklahoma. I have a cultural right to go fishing. And so I'm grateful that the Hawaiian community did not sue us, which we certainly are liable for a lawsuit regarding the access to the ocean. And I would guess that this condemnation procedure is a less expensive way to go about this than it would be to go to trial over civil rights violations, basically. But I'm totally in support of this, and I would just make the observation, I question the counties negotiating with the landowner. I know people in shoreline conservation organizations that say that the owner of the property is very involved in environmental issues. So, I don't know, like offer to name the trail after them. So whatever Jones or whatever their name is, right, the memorial trails. Then you have no legal expenses, and it's a done deal. Like, do it quick. That's just an idea. But condemnation should be the last, not the first thing that the county does to get possession of property. So thank you for pursuing this.
Thank you. Anyone else?
For the record, Bruce Hart. I'm for this. I'm always for beach access. I would like to say that everybody needs to be aware that I think there are a whole lot of property owners that would welcome allowing passage through their property if the proper respect was shown. Please, to everybody who uses this access once we acquire it, remember to be respectful. It's not a trail to go down and make trouble. Don't leave any trash. Don't be too loud. But other than that, you know, there are beach accesses all over the island. When I first came here in the early 70s, there were a whole lot of places that you could go that didn't have particular beach access. And I've seen it erode to the point that we have to do something like condemnation in order to be able to get access. And this has happened in other other places in the mainland. You go back and study the history of this issue in California, you'll see some real violence over this issue. And so we don't have that here. We can take to heart the fact that we have an aloha attitude and that everybody should be able to get to the beach or any other place that has cultural value or just as a value because they enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to recognize the woman before me, though, who, and a couple other speakers who made it very obvious that people need to be out in nature, right? And to have that. So I understand that. But I guess I would disagree with the last speaker in the sense that there is a taking. Something has been taken. And when we're taking, then, there's a balance of that taking. And so, particularly with real estate, and even if there are somebody who didn't go there, there's a lot of people who will testify, that, they allowed access. So as far as I understand, if you let them. So, but the other thing is that taking is sort of sometimes good and sometimes bad. And this, to me, looks like it's more of an event of something that they're doing something. And again, it's good, something's happening, but it isn't that big of a deal because everybody's going through it anyway. So, but I totally support the fact that, that land has been taken. And that the other thing is that there is a top, right? And who wants a top, right? There's no sort of rising, right? It's like it's a hierarchy, right? If there's a top, it's a hierarchy. Something has to rise up in basically the land development rights is, it's very tightly controlled and concentrated. And that's part of this problem, why people come up and, and exhibit that, that need for the land. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good morning. Shulea Koga on behalf of the Open Space Commission. I'm the Open Space Planner. So I'll give you a little bit of brief history of how the Open Space Commission came to recommend the condemnation of a portion of this property. So it first started where this proposal came to the Open Space Commission in about 2017. And originally, they were proposing to acquire the whole property. But when looking at the property, there is one dwelling on it and a garage. And so if the property itself has a dwelling on it, and we use county money for it, you have to get an environmental assessment that can take anywhere from 2 to 3 years, and it can range upward to $100,000 at that time. And so the Open Space Commission took a look at it, at the proposal, and they spoke about it, and they believe the best course of action was to preserve public access, was just to acquire an easement along the stream that people were already traditionally using to access the beach, to access Leomano Beach. And during this time, we were in talks with the property owners, and as Commissioner Ornelas had shared earlier, there was multiple owners of the property throughout the years, so maybe about 3. This last owner, we were in talks with them, and they were originally willing to give the county an easement, but they did have some concerns, and so they shared their concerns with us. The county responded to them, addressing their concerns, and then it kind of went silent for a little bit. The county reached out to them again, still asserting the position that we have addressed their concerns, and we heard no response from them. And so we kept emailing, we kept sending certified letters to them, phone calls. They still weren't responding to us. And then finally, on January 28, 2025, the owners responded to us with an email basically saying that they're unable to grant an easement to the county at this time, but they remain committed to supporting the community by continuing to allow respectful pedestrian access to the beach. While this is good that they're allowing people to access, what we need to ensure is that if the next if a next owner comes in, that they won't stop people from accessing the beach. And that is the concern, and that is why the commission is recommending condemning a portion of the property to Leomano Beach as a public beach access to be used for gathering, cultural rights. So anyway, that wraps up the history on that. Jody and I are here to also answer any questions. Yeah.
Well, there will be no questions today because it's a public hearing, but I'm sure there will be some or could be some at the committee. Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, this public hearing is now closed. Thank you, everyone. With that, I'll call a meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bolosan.
Here.
Councilmember Cavallo.
Here.
Councilmember Cowden.
Here.
Councilmember Holland.
Present.
Councilmember Kaneshiro.
Present.
Councilmember Kuli'i. Council Chair Raposo.
Here.
All present.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Chair, on page 2, minutes of the following meetings of the council: the May 13th, 2026 council meeting and the May 13th, 2026 public hearing regarding resolution number 2026-11, bill number 2988, and bill number 2989.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Items on the consent calendar for receipt: C2026-128 and C2026-129.
Move to receive.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Communications, C2026-118, communication from the mayor submitting his supplemental budget communication for fiscal year 2026-2027 and proposed amendments to the budget bills pursuant to Section 19.02A of the Kauaʻi County Charter.
Move to receive.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-130, communication from Darren Rose, Assistant Chief of Police, requesting council approval to accept and expend recurring federal funds in the amount of $42,647 from the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, number 15 PB-JA-23-GG-02975-JAGX, to be used for the purpose of drug-related investigations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. With that, we do have a question. I'll suspend the rules.
Darren Rose, Assistant Chief, Kauaʻi Police Department, for the record.
Thank you, Assistant Chief. I've been asked by the public for each of these to just give a basic explanation of what the grant does and how you're doing it, working on it.
Well, the first one, it's a grant. It's a federal grant from the Department of Justice, and it provides overtime funding for the Vice Narcotics Unit to conduct narcotic investigations, and then there's also training attached to that. It provides training for basic narcotics courses, canine handlers courses, and a couple other, like California Narcotics Association's conference that we send investigators to.
Can you give a brief description of the successes that we've had in the past year? Because this is a reoccurring grant, right?
Correct.
So have we had much success this year?
We're early into the year, but yes, there was a pretty decent operation that was done with other federal agencies not too long ago, which probably produced our highest seizures of the year within the last month.
Okay, thank you. That was the question.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify? You may as well stay there, sir. I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-131, communication from Darren Rhodes, Assistant Chief of Police, requesting council approval to accept and expend federal funds in the amount of $59,015 from the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, number 15 PBJA-24-GG-04 228-JAGX to be used to procure equipment and training to enhance the Kauai Police Department's special response team capability to respond to high-risk and violent incidents.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. With that, I will suspend the rules.
So can you again just give a description of how we utilize this money to, what the special response team does and how, this is a lot of training, I think, really, right? This would be like a mass shooter event or something, is that?
Correct. This is the first time we applied for this grant and we received it. Specifically for our special response team that responds to high-risk situations, active shooters, high-risk search warrants. I think most people in the council are familiar with the fugitive hunt a couple years ago for Crisantos that involved our special response team. So what this funding will do, it has specifics in it, but it's mainly for training. It's going to allow us to host a special response team conference, which would invite statewide all the other teams over here, and there would be training involved in that conference. It's going to provide us to send 2 people to sniper school,
Okay.
Which could be crucial in a hostage situation and other events. And then it's also for purchasing some equipment that's earmarked to go inside of this, breaching equipment.
So it sounds like this is being proactive. This isn't currently too much of an issue, but we're going to be prepared and ready if we need to and keep
Correct.
our officers safe. That's the intention of this training and cooperation across the state and leadership in that cooperation.
Yeah, absolutely, you're correct. We're always continuing trying to improve and get better.
Okay, thank you. That would be my questions.
Thank you. Any other questions for KPD? If not, anyone in the audience wishing to testify? With that,
And for the record, Brewster, I just wanted to say that I'm really pleased that KPD has pursued this grant. As Assistant Chief Rose said, this is the first time. And this is something that I think that there's going to come situations where they're able to utilize this team. Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
On page 3, C2026-132, communication from Darren Rose, Assistant Chief of Police, requesting council approval of the indemnification provision and the unspecified future obligation sections contained in the MSAB's Terms and Conditions of Sales, which will provide investigative tools to extract, preserve, and analyze electronic and vehicle informant data relevant to criminal investigations and evidentiary processes.
Move to approve.
Second.
So thank you again.
Well, hang on. Let me just suspend the rules real quick. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. If you know what MSAB stands for, I always like to have the acronym, and then if you can give a basic explanation, and then I know a concern that often comes is if any of this information gets sold out to the provider, or if it stays specific to Kauai Police Department. And is this doesn't say reoccurring, so is this new, and how will we use it?
Yeah, so this is new technology, and I apologize, I don't know what MSAB stands for,
Okay.
but we can get you that information. This is new technology as we're seeing in everything, technology continues to advance. This is specifically for newer cars, and I would like to say ones that basically have Bluetooth capabilities. Cars today all have computers inside of it. When you go rent a car and you connect your Bluetooth to it, you're connecting your phone to it. And so your data from your phone is basically going into that car. That's also tracking, it's a GPS system within this car that's tracking its location. So this software would allow us to pull that out of a vehicle, but again, that would only be done with a search warrant and a criminal investigation. So it's not just running around pulling people's data. So this can be critical, say in a homicide investigation, to actually prove that this vehicle was at the location.
Okay, so I'm hearing that this isn't a general surveillance tool that would be invading the privacy of anybody driving down the street. This would be used with a warrant, and it would be connected to a crime that's occurred.
Correct.
And it's stays, well, actually, if crimes occurred, it might not need to stay with just KPD, right? It might need to go further, but this still protects the privacy of the average citizen driving down the road until a crime is committed.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with any average citizens driving down the road. This would be an active criminal investigation where a person of interest was identified and we obtained enough probable cause to apply for the search warrant to pull the information out of the car.
Okay. That would be my question.
Anyone else? If not, thank you very much. Anyone in the audience wishing to testify? Mr. Psychos?
For the record, Lonnie Psychos. I am not one to promote surveillance of the public by the government, but in this instance, I'm all for this. In my own life's experience, I've known people that have been in auto accidents and then had to go hire somebody with a physics degree to do the acceleration braking study to figure out how fast the other vehicle was going. It's incredibly expensive. You got to have resources to do this. Ultimately, the other driver was convicted of reckless driving and speeding. So had this technology existed, instead of my friend having to go hire a physicist from UH, the police department simply would have gone and looked at the computers in the cars and told you when they started braking, how fast they were going, the degree of steering that occurred, all those technical details. So this actually is very protective for the person that's the victim, and it's a huge bummer for the person who messed up. But that's how it should be. So thank you very much, and my thanks to KPD for bringing this technology here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wishing to testify? If not, I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Just for the public, MSAB is the name of the company that provides the technology. It's not a technology itself. It's a company that we are indemnifying. With that, the motion is to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-133, communication from the Emergency Management Administrator requesting council approval of the indemnification provision and the unspecified future obligations contained in the...
This memo has been withdrawn by the administration, so we'll be looking for a motion to receive.
Move to receive.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-134, communication from the Housing Director requesting council approval to receive and expend Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation funds in the amount of $3,311,608.94 from the Home Investment Partnerships Program, which will be used for the Kaua Ho'oulu Affordable Housing Development in Lehue and Limaola Single Family Phase 5 Development in Eleele via a request for proposal to provide grants or loans to developers to increase and preserve the supply of decent, safe, and sanitary affordable housing for primarily low-income households.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? You have a question? With that, I'll suspend the rules.
Morning, council members. Steve Franco for the Housing Agency.
This looks like great news, obviously, support for our programs. Can you just tell us a little bit about how we got it, why we get it? Is it every year?
Sure, yeah. This is an allocation that we receive from the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation on a rotational basis with the other outer island counties, Maui and Hawaii counties. Every year, HHFDC receives an allocation from HUD and they offer it to the different counties in a rotational basis. So for 2025, Kauaʻi County is receiving the allocation.
When you say rotational, then we get it every 4 years?
Yeah, so then actually, yeah, the next allocation we would be receiving is in 2028.
And then everybody knows about Limaola. What is Kaua Ho'oulu?
So Kaua Ho'oulu is also known as the Puhi Park Project across from the KCC off Kamolui Highway. So we went through an RFP process, selected a developer, and designated the use of these funds for that project.
So the passive Puhi Park along the highway?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions, Ms. Bowden?
A simple question.
Sure.
I'm pleased to see two significant funds together, and so they aren't coming from exactly the same place, but it looks like they are going to the same developments. Is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, both the Home or Investment Partnership Program funds and the other council item requests that we have for the National Housing Trust Fund funds will be going to the Kaua Ho'oulu project. Yeah.
Okay.
But they both are come through their
HFDC. So these are complementing funds.
Correct.
And so sometimes we even need to have matching funds to make these things happen. So,
For sure.
and these will probably pair up with some of the fund in our housing fund. So we
Correct.
get from multiple sources.
Correct. That's correct.
To put this together. So
Put
I
the
just want to
project.
say really good work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, thank you very much. Anyone in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion? If not, the motion is to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-135, communication from the Housing Director requesting council approval to receive and expend $2,988,454.54 in National Housing Trust Fund fiscal year 2025 funds to indemnify the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation for the Kaua Ho'oulu Affordable Housing Development in Lihue via a request for proposal to provide grants or loans to developers to increase and preserve the supply of decent, safe, and sanitary affordable housing for primarily extremely low-income households.
To approve.
Second.
Thank you. With that, I'll suspend the rules.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
So when I'm looking at this second agenda item, this is for the 30% of area median income. So those are the people who are at the most economic disadvantage.
That's correct.
And the one above it is people who are doing a little bit better.
Yes.
Are
That's
they
correct.
basically they would move into the same apartment? It's just that this is subsidizing the funding for people who can't afford as much rent.
That's correct. It's an additional subsidy. It's very similar to the home program that we discussed previously. In this case, though, it just serves the extremely low households rather than the low-income households.
Yeah, so this is essentially a federal subsidy.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. And they would have the same quality of apartment that they would live in.
Correct.
All right. Happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, I'll call a meeting back to order. Any further discussion?
I just
No?
want to say
Go ahead.
I appreciate the effort from the housing department and just really thrilled that we're moving forward. And I think the Puhi location, to my best understanding, that is really directed at teachers as well. So I think that that's great. It's right in the middle of all those schools. And we need to have teachers. So it's great to have housing for teachers.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
C2026-136, communication from the Deputy County Clerk requesting council approval of the unspecified future obligations provision contained in the RICO's master lease agreement between RICO and the Office of the County Clerk to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with RICO after awarding a bid for a lease copier as part of the State Procurement Office's Price and Vendor List Contract Number 24-16, NASPO Value Point Multifunction Devices and related software, services, and cloud solutions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony?
I believe this is basically our copier.
Correct.
Okay, so
Copiers.
it's a big paragraph for something simple.
That's it? Yep. Okay. Any other discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, the motion is to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Chair, on page 4, claims. C2026-137, communication from the County Clerk transmitting a claim filed against the County of Kauaʻi by Dennis Alpeshi for property damage pursuant to Section 23.06 Charter of the County of Kauaʻi, C2026-138, communication from the county clerk transmitting a claim filed against the County of Kauaʻi by Sharon Milan for property damage pursuant to Section 23.06 Charter of the County of Kauaʻi, and C2026-139, communication from the county clerk transmitting a claim filed against the County of Kauaʻi by Susan L. Marshall, Esquire, on behalf of Jeffrey Riley for personal injury pursuant to Section 23.06 Charter of the County of Kauaʻi.
Move to refer to the county attorney for disposition and report back as necessary.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Are your committee reports from your Committee on Parks and Recreation and Transportation, CRPRT 2026-03 and CRPSHS 2026-01.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
From your Committee on Finance and Economic Development on page 5, CRFED 2026-09, CRFED 2026-10, CRFED 2026-11, CRFED 2026-12, CRFED 2026-13, and on page 6, CRFED 2026-14, CRFED 2026-15, and CRFED 2026-16.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? With that, I'll suspend the rules. Mr. Cycles.
For the record, Lonnie Psychos. At the last meeting, I believe that it was during this plus and minuses that the issue of the some millions of dollars for the C. Brewer site came up. So from the public, the question is, we believe that that was received and that that money is a moot point and that there is no money to go forward with C. Brewer, but the public would like to hear that as an affirmative statement.
That is correct.
And so thank you very much. That was my question on this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll call the meeting back to order. Any further discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, please.
Our next item are resolutions. Resolution number 2026-11, resolution establishing the real property tax rates for the fiscal year July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 for the County of Kauaʻi.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan.
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho.
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro.
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i.
Aye.
Council Chair Pozo.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
The next resolution is resolution number 2026-17, resolution approving the proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 operating budget for the Hawaii State Association of Counties.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan.
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho.
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden.
Aye.
Councilmember Holland.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro.
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i.
Aye.
Council Chair Pozo.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is a bill for second reading, Bill number 2988, Draft 1, a bill for an ordinance relating to the operating budget and financing thereof for the fiscal year July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. This is the budget that is up for final vote today, operating budget. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify? No? Is there any discussion?
I have a procedure question. Finance Chair asked us to hold our comments till we do it all at once on the
Correct.
budget. Would that be now?
This would be the time. So based on our rules, every member will have 8 minutes to make their closing comments on the budget. Except for Mr. Kaneshiro, the introducer gets 20, but this would be the time.
Is that right? Introducing
That is correct.
I look forward to that.
All right.
Yeah, introducer has 20 minutes and everyone else has 8. So
have a 22-minute speech.
I'll go first. So, did you want to go first, Mr. Commissioner?
Oh, I can go first.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to thank everybody for working hard on the budget. I know it's a long process for everyone. I'm just going to give a brief overview. You know, the budget that was passed, $365.6 million for operating, $133 million for CIP, almost $500 million, $498.6 million budget that was passed. The good thing, real property taxes, we just went through the real property tax resolution. None of the real property tax rates were changed. Our real property tax, our income for the county has increased in real property taxes by almost $25 million. Majority of it is coming from non-owner occupied residential, vacation rental, hotel and resort, and we have some small increase in county TAT. At the end of the day, the owner occupied tax class, it continues to be protected with the lower rate that was unchanged and all of the benefits of having that owner occupied tax class. As far as expenses goes, I think I'll make this really brief. Housing has always been a big issue every year. $34.5 million is in the housing fund, and $34.5 million total is in the housing fund. $14 million was added this year to get to that total. We also moved $1.5 million to the homeless grant. So there's $1.5 million in housing for homeless grant. Roads, which I believe since we passed GET hasn't been as big of an issue. When I first started council, roads was like the #1 hot issue, and I think everybody was breaking wheels on Maluhia Road, Koloa Road, Olohana Road. It's been a lot more quiet, I can tell you that much, and it's because the GT passed and we have a lot more money going in. Right now, we have $36.3 million going into road resurfacing. And so, looking at the future, we do need to protect that general excise tax money that we get. It can be taken away anytime by the state, so that's really important to the county. We put a lot of money towards convention hall, which, you know, it's a lot of money, but I think it's appropriate. You know, a lot of times we don't look at our own facilities a lot. You know, I think we take it for granted. And we're always looking at what projects do we fund outside the county, what parks do we need to fix, and we don't really necessarily look at our actual buildings here. Convention hall serves a lot of people, a lot of kids. It's a great building. You look at it, I think I was just in that building a couple of weeks ago for my daughter's play, and to think how they designed that thing back, I don't know when it was created, but it's an amazing building. And it's still relevant today. You know, I would think if I created something today, it would probably be irrelevant within like the next 5 years with the way technology and everything's moving. But we do really need to concentrate on preserving what we've got. Our building here, county facilities there. And then just looking at the future, we put money towards landfill, we put money towards sewer. But next year and the following years and the next like few years, those are going to be really huge expenses that we're going to have to pull the trigger on and decide what we're going to do. And so I do know, I mean, we pretty much hit the hot topics, which is housing, roads, homeless. So I think the budget was done well.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Holland?
Thank you, Finance Chair. I'll be brief. I just want to extend my sincere appreciation, really, to Mayor Kawakami, our finance department, department heads, all the county staff who dedicated countless hours to developing and presenting this year's budget. The budget process required, I think, significant effort this year and collaboration, really thoughtful analysis, and a lot of work and extraordinary commitment of time, I think, maybe compared to other years. And while there were important discussions and competing priorities that we considered, I think overall, I'm really grateful for the professionalism, the responsiveness, and the dedication that's demonstrated through the process by all my colleagues and the administration. I think together we worked through some complex issues with the shared goals of meeting our community's needs and making meaningful investments in Kauaʻi and our future. And so I just want to share my gratitude for that, and I've learned a lot through this year's budget and experience. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Ms. Carter?
So I'm going to support what's been said and, really offer my gratitude to both the mayor's administration for this next budget in general, but also creating a responsible hands-off to set the next mayor up for success. I always want to acknowledge the finance department for doing the heavy lifting of coordinating all of these materials together. They do a very, very key role. Again, as Councilmember Holland said, the department heads and their broader teams that put important work into creating the budget by division and securing grants throughout the year. That really brings a lot of extra money in for us. Council Services staff, always thank you very much for the work that you do. It's invaluable at collating, presenting, and helping Council handle our end of these responsibilities. Also want to say thank you to all the taxpayers, all the citizens who really are a big part of funding, and they deeply contribute to our county operations. So this is all of us who make this happen. I want to also acknowledge the non-residents and visitors who contribute roughly 70% of our revenue base generated through transit accommodation tax, general excise tax, real property tax, through the resorts and accommodations. And our state legislative team and congressional team, they have been extra important this year as the federal government has really worked to tighten the benefits that are so needed among our more vulnerable population. So I'm thankful for that, and I see responsible budgeting as critical for maintaining long-term economic stability and managing debt and ensuring the availability of resources for future generations. So I thank you on that. I'm going to just point out that our operating budget this year was $365.6 million. So what was interesting to me on that is it's basically our everyday operations are running at about $1 million a day. It was kind of a nice, easy number on that. And that real property tax is 52% of the budget. So it's very significant, but we also do get what I acknowledged earlier with the state and federal monies. Kind of what on Errol said, I want to just acknowledge the valuable future directional improvements that are funded in the infrastructure through these land purchases that we've done and land partnership agreements in process for wastewater, solid waste, and potential for evacuation routes. Those things are all beginning and in place. I want to say in the future, the county is wise to consider pathways to strengthening funding to our water department that needs additional support. I just went to another meeting last night, and the week before I went to Honolulu and Kilauea in this past probably 7 days. And, water is so important for our buildable environment, and they are struggling. So in the future, I see that something we need. And then I want to highlight the much needed support for repairing our sewer lines. That's a very big deal. He mentioned our homeless services and for our population at risk. Here's something that I want to call attention to, which is in our public safety team. They've been working admirably at preparing for this upcoming El Nino year that can create increased fire, hurricane, flood potential. And so not only have we been purchasing more equipment and technology that's needed, but I just really want to acknowledge the growth and collaboration among our layers of public land governments, the DLNR, the feds, the county, all these private contractors through our wildfire stakeholder group. They've been remarkable, so it's been an honor to be a part of this effort as committee chair for public safety. So I think that we've done a lot to assure organized ability to respond to crises, including purchasing that needed equipment. I want to call attention to inflation, which is another pressure in which we need to be prepared in our budgeting. The international conflicts underway are impacting energy costs and supply chain disruption. It has potential to unexpectedly increase our expenses and possibly disrupt our visitor industry. We must be careful to not escalate the taxation on our residents if we experience another period of profound rise in housing prices. I'm hoping that won't happen, but I try and watch vigorously for that. So I think as we move forward, the budget, what I like is there is enough flexible mindset so we can prioritize the essential needs in improving our infrastructure and building resilience. So in a best case, Kauai and Hawaii will be spared both weather and economic turbulence. And the goals of this budget will be able to be fully manifested, that we'll get all that we're looking for and, you know, have that work well. I just was with the visitor industry and looking at the U Hero budget. And so as I pointed out, that we bring a lot of our money through that, 70% comes through that. You know, we might have some softening there, so that might cause a little bit of adaptation. But again, thank you to our county team and taxpayers for this fiscal year 27 budget effort.
Thank you, Councilmember. Other council members? Councilmember Lulasan?
Yeah, I just want to echo again, thank you to our staff for always being phenomenal in all the work that you do. Mahalo to the administration, especially the finance team and all the people that came together to make this happen. And then especially I want to mahalo the community for the community engagement around this budget. In my 4 years serving, that was the most testimony and engagement that I've seen in the 4 years. And that really is a testament to the growing challenges that we're facing, but at the same time how our community is rising towards meeting those challenges. The total amount of this budget, I mean, it's kind of astronomical to think how big of the budget is, but it's really not that much when you think about as a whole of what Kauaʻi needs. It really takes a lot to take care of all of us, and partners in all sectors of government and in our community and private sectors. It's important for us to keep collaborating, and I feel like in this fourth budget for myself, it's a dual experience. It's a diverging experience that I feel every single time when we make the decision, is that it feels like we're getting better. I really feel hopeful. I feel like looking at this budget compared to past budgets, we're doing better in a lot of categories, but at the same time, it just feels still like we're having a harder time. Just generally, the community, an individual that live on Kauaʻi, rise the cost of living, the challenges that we're facing, things happening in the world. Just at the same time, there's this duality of like it's not getting better. So it's hard to sit in this seat and say, "Wow, super proud," and at the same time, "Wow, it's very, very hard still." And so that's why I'm ultra committed to looking at this budget and as we pass it to help whatever we can to assist the administration and all our partners to execute this budget and make sure that we get the most out of it this fiscal year. As we're experiencing, we just don't know what's ahead. We as mentioned on the floor, potential super El Nino. We're looking at the hurricane season started yesterday, and that's just the regular nature emergencies. Then you have all the other manufactured human experiences that's happening out around the world that you just feel like, man, we really got to rise up and keep coming together. And that's one of the biggest takeaways, like I mentioned from the beginning, is that why I'm most hopeful about working in this team, our council team, our administration, and our state and federal representatives for Hawaii. We keep coming together, and that is the most important thing, especially in challenging times. So again, I want to echo all my mahalos to everyone, and I'm looking forward to administration executing this budget. And thank you again for allowing us to serve in this capacity to do one of the most important functions of the County Council, which is to pass a balanced budget. So thank you all.
Thank you. Mr. Cavalli?
Yeah, I just want to, without echoing everything, but bottom line, mahalo our council team for all the work and everything that they've done and following through on all the different requests back and forth and having gone through numerous budgets. And of course, the administration for following through, and all the requests go back and forth, but at the end of the day, we got to come together, and especially the community for coming out every step of the way and sharing your mana'o as we continue to look forward to today. And of course, the community in general, I mean, I think that's a big one that we need to really thank. But having gone through numerous budgets, and, you know, but the biggest thing for me would be all the different levels, from housing to homelessness to roads, wastewater, our GT, I mean, tax programs, all of it ties into the bigger picture. And just look forward to the implementation now, getting it done, the following through, and knowing that along the way there may be some challenges, but we can work together to make it happen for our people. So I think overall, having, like I said, the whole entire process of our budget was really engaging and open and reaching out and bringing back, and then now put it into action. And that's where we're at right now. So I look forward to working closely with our administration and continue working with our community. There's going to be other options coming up along the way, as we always have. But for now, I think just the entire process and all the areas that really are critical for our island have been, at least, has been addressed and talked about. And I think that's an important part. So for me, really mahalo again, everybody, for the entire process, and look forward to more opportunities, and know that the door is always open for talking story in the future. So mahalo to everybody. Aloha.
All right, anyone else?
Yes,
Go ahead, Mr. Cody.
Yeah, I guess this is very likely my last budget, and I've actually had, this is my 12th budget. My first budget, I came in April, so budget was well underway. I probably missed all of the presentations by the departments. Probably was just scrambling to keep up then. But this is my last budget, and I feel like it's my best budget because I think we accomplished some big things. And Errol talked about it, about the grant and aid opportunities. But our adding $1 million of grant and aid funding for homelessness, with a minimum preference of 500,000 of that being dedicated towards safe zones initiatives, is a big deal. And I think we were able to do it because the community came out in force and made their wishes known. And I think that gave us the courage, Councilmember Howland and I, with the proposal together. And we received a lot of written testimony as well. So the $1 million to the grant and aid for safe zones initiatives, big deal. And then the additional 500,000 grant and aid for recovery treatment grants for adult and adolescent mental health and substance abuse community program grants, specifically with that additional 500,000 going towards actual recovery. Another really big deal. So 1.5 million change made by this council is probably the biggest change I've ever been a part of in my 12 years. And I thank all the other council members for making that a unanimous vote as well. And of course, again, thank the community. Another big deal for me was, and it started really little, it was probably about at least 5 years ago, maybe longer, where I proposed a pilot project, $35,000. It was easy. In fact, I didn't even have to have a vote by here. I proposed it to the administration, and they did it, to start a low-income bus pass program, discounts. And it would, administratively, it would be too difficult for transportation. So what we did was we partnered with the nonprofit agencies who are already helping their disadvantaged low-income people. And so I said, let's have our transportation department directly give them the discount. So now they can double the amount of passes they're giving out because they're purchasing these passes from our transportation department. So we started with 35,000, and in this current year, we added another 50,000. We've gradually increased it over the years, and it's now up to 220,000. We have probably over 20 nonprofits working with us, and state as well, and even our housing folks were participating in this too. So especially big thanks to all of the partners, especially Catholic Charities and Easter Seals for making this success and for growing it. And I hope the future councils will keep it going. Then the last thing probably is when you're looking at the real property taxes. I think taxes in general, I always feel like for our families, especially our kupuna, who are especially struggling, we need to always look at the types of exemptions and credits that we are providing. And I think we need to do better at promoting that so that everyone who's eligible for it. Some people out there, I know when I moved home, I had to help my own parents and others in my family and neighbors just to keep telling people about what's available to them because they're already struggling. And some of them may be paying more taxes than they need to because they're not taking advantage of the exemptions. So let's make sure more and more people are taking advantage of exemptions. In our reporting that we get from finance, 2 of the totals they give us is the home preservation limit differential, and that's only a total of $47,507. But then what I'm talking about, one of them they provide us is the very low income tax credit. So for the very low income tax credit this past year, we provided $362,458 in relief. $360,000 out of $261.4 million collected. So real property tax clearly is our biggest revenue source, and we need it for all the services we provide, critical services that the community needs. But we also can be giving more relief to people who especially need it. I think perhaps in my time away, I will try to put some effort into that in working with community to make sure our seniors and our lowest income folks are getting the exemptions they deserve. So that $362,000 we provide in relief is only 0.138% of the total $260 million that we collect. So that's just a little more than 1/10 of 1%. So if that's everyone out there, great, but I don't think it is. So I want to make sure, and everybody should feel that too, that you need to try and do more of that. I know our real property tax folks are all busy just doing what they need to do, but somebody, and maybe we work with Agency on Elderly Affairs, and they're probably doing some of that already, just in the work that they do in referring people to how to, do better, financially when they're struggling. So yeah, that's it. And then the last thing, of course, the biggest malo nui loa to the mayor and to his entire budget team, and especially to our entire council services budget team. The council, this is our most important job every year, and we can't do it without the staff because 100% of what you see us do here, 90% of the work behind us is done by the staff. And we have the most amazing staff. The most amazing. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, this is my 18th budget. It's been a lot. And I guess I'll start with thanking all of you, the council members, for doing a great job. Our budget chair, Awa Kaneshiro, thank you for keeping us in check. I ran the budget for a couple of years when you were not here. And it's not as easy as you make it look. It's difficult, and I will say that Arrow is definitely the best budget chair I've ever worked with, no doubt. To our administration, to our mayor and managing director and the whole team, the responsiveness of our request was A+, and that is so helpful, and it just makes our job a lot easier when we get the responses to our questions, because the budget process goes through, questions pop up later. But the responsiveness is much appreciated, and thank you for that. As well as the finance department, the budget team across the street, our county attorney, invaluable information from that office, Tyler and his team, as well as all the department heads who, whether it's formally or informally, helping us make the decisions to make this budget process go through. And of course, the community. The community without the community input, without the community showing up, as was mentioned earlier, regarding the homeless, houselessness, and safe zones. And that's just one example of many throughout the year. And many of the community voices come in, not here, it's through text or emails or while you're shopping at the store. So thank you for all of you guys that are willing to stand up and voice your concerns. And then, of course, our staff. I mean, I saved the best for last. This budget year, we had I think the first time I've ever seen changes after the supplemental budget. Amendments at the final committee meeting, which I don't believe was ever done. And that is a logistical nightmare, we know that, but our staff was able to get that handled and processed, and that is just amazing. So our budget team on this side of the aisle is phenomenal. I think everyone has mentioned that, but the work that they go through and what they have to process to get our work done is just phenomenal. So to our staff, our budget staff, thank you. But it's not just the budget team. We got our clerk and our deputy clerk who basically are the traffic cops here. They're the ones that collect imagine 7 individual independent council members. All of that gets funneled to the clerk and the deputy, and then they got to assign it where it needs to go. So thank you, Jade and Lyndon, for you guys' amazing work. But then again, we got the record section, who got to go dig up old minutes and files for us to compare with what the work that we are doing. Our secretarial assistants, who got to collaborate all of our schedules so we can make the meetings with the administration and make the meetings with our constituents, as well as our clerical department. Everything that we end up signing, guess what, came from a clerk. And there is no job in this council services office that is not important to this whole budget process. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys here. Like Kipukai, this is my last council budget for now. And it's been an experience. But again, nothing gets done without the help of everybody combined, administration, council, and the public. So with that, I thank you all very much. That's all I got. The motion is to approve. Roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Pozo?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. With that, the next item, please.
Chair, this is on page 7, Bill number 2989, Draft 1, a bill for an ordinance relating to the capital improvements and financing thereof for the fiscal year July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Okay, with that, I'll suspend the rules. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify on the CIP budget? Mr. Mark? Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, council members. The mechanic shop with Blue Chemical, that place is not a good idea. Because I've been there before, pick up chemicals for the county, and a lot of chemicals spilled on the ground. It holds it down in water. They're there to shut down the place. They're like how she said, the stream right there can get contaminated. So mechanic shop gotta build their own building. It's the safer, better outcome to go about it. That I got another question to Candle Rec 7. That place is a disaster. You guys made the building. The building is not very good for teams that goes to the stuff that they this past weekend. Doesn't cut it. You got real sucks to go in a building like that. You guys put money in a building like that. You guys should look at get the person's input, the public's input, before you guys waste you guys money into that and doesn't cut it. The place is like an office, it's a disaster. poor old people staying there this weekend and couldn't even drink a bottle of water. That's not very good. What if people get dehydrated? You guys got to look at the whole outcome. Why you guys mess up a building like that, waste the money? It's not very good like how it was before you guys redo everything. It's not a good outcome. That's what I have to say about it.
I have a clarifying question.
Go ahead.
The second building that you're talking about isn't the Sea Brewer. You're talking about two buildings?
Yeah, the place the mechanic shop going.
Okay, so you're talking about the mechanic shop?
It's not a good location for it.
The new one? The one that we're considering buying? But are you talking about a place where people live too?
No, not there. The Color Rec Center. You guys redo the stuff.
What center?
Hollow Hill Neighborhood Center.
His first issue was the Brewer Chemical
Okay,
Site, and then the second issue is the Kaua Hill Neighborhood Center.
Okay, I just didn't understand his words, so, okay, I was trying to understand where he was talking about. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marks.
Thank
The
you.
part about it, why you guys waste money and the public can't enjoy a building like that, it's not very good. It's my point of view. You guys waste all the council money into that and doesn't cut it.
Hollow Hill Rec Center.
Yeah, Color Rec Center is a disaster. The place is like an oven. It's something like you going to Mana and Kauaʻi Beach. The heat in there is very bad. That's all I get to say.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? The rules are still suspended.
Elena Oakman here. Just want to say one thing about thank you so much for considering our testimony for the houseless and the mental health and drug abuse. Thank you so much for taking into consideration and adding on to the budget. So hopefully we'll find good, program that will help community with that. And based on this purchase, I just want to mention one thing. So I'm a real estate agent. I've been doing real estate over 15 years. And when situations like this discussed, usually you know the time frame for the contingencies, and you know the time frame for the inspection. So last time when I was here, I haven't heard anything about the level of how many days or what's the period of the contingencies, what's being done. So this is the normal procedure of any transaction, and especially of that kind. It's a magnitude of that kind is a big operation that is being purchased. So just a suggestion. So when you purchase properties in that kind, so council members need to know, we have 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months of the contingency for the inspection, and during this time, this is the evidence that's been collected and reviewed. So I understand that it's not for the council to approve. You are approving just the funding. But the way I see this particular property, based on what been mentioned here with today's testimony, there could be a lot of problems that could be there as a chemical and all other things that have been discussed recently. So just my testimony to pay attention and do more research on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? If not, okay.
In general, in regards to the budget, I'd like to
Just gotta state your name, Mr. Hart.
For the record, Bruce Hart. In general, in regards to the budget, I'd like to thank all council members and the administration. I have sat through many of the meetings. It can be stressful. And I'd like to echo chairs thanking the staff. You all work really hard, everybody. So having said that, I want to speak specifically upon my testimony in regards to the Sea Brewer purchase potential. I stand on my testimony last week. If the administration decides to move forward, my position could change, but to be frank, I doubt it. I think there are just too many potential liabilities, and I think that the rush was really nerve-wracking for me. And I want to thank those that voted in support of Chair's amendment so that we can, as he said in testimony, pump the brakes, slow down, and take a good look at what this would entail. I want to thank specifically Chair for having the courage to bring this forward so that the public, and that includes me personally, would have an opportunity to be able to speak on the purchase of that property, which I wouldn't have had if it had gone through without Chair bringing it forward and the amendment. I want to thank Councilmember Cooley. I want to thank you, Kipukai, for always putting the public forward, the people. You do that consistently. It's not just once in a while, you do it all the time. I want to thank Felicia, Councilmember Cowden, for bringing up some very important points in regards to the buildings and the property, the Sea Brewer. And I want to thank Councilmember Holland for her input. And I want to thank all four of you for your vote upholding the amendment. I sighed a sign of relief whenever the amendment was held up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll call the meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Ms. Cowden?
I'm just going to make a comment on the Sea Brewer property. I want to give gratitude to the administration for looking at the property. It has a range of benefits across several departments this purchase could provide. And I just want to reaffirm that I'm open to looking at the contracts and, you know, what we start getting in this due diligence or the information. It was just too quick, too fast, because we do not want to buy a liability that might have real health problems. But I'm not closed-minded. The problem was the short window of time. So the rest of the CIP, I feel good about, and thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, the motion is to approve. Roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Is Bill number 2993, a bill for an ordinance to amend ordinance number B2025-905 as amended relating to the operating budget of the County of Kauaʻi, State of Hawaii for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 by revising the amounts estimated in the general fund. This is for general liability and auto claims and the health fund contribution.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Thank you. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Is Bill number 2994, a bill for an ordinance approving a collective bargaining agreement for bargaining unit 11 between July 1st, 2025 and June 30th, 2029.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolasan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Opozo?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. Next item.
The next item is Bill number 2995, Draft 1, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 5A, Kauaʻi County Code 1987 as amended relating to real property tax. This is the long-term affordable rental requirements. Chair, we do have one registered speaker.
Can I get a motion, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. With that, I'll suspend the rules.
The registered speaker is Lonnie Sykos.
For the record, Lonnie Sykos. For the public watching, there's a lot of rules that govern what does and does not occur inside council meetings. And at this meeting, Bill 2995 has to do with the proposed changes, not the bill itself. So I look forward to the agenda item coming up in committee so that the council can address Section 2B that states, provided that all dwellings on the property are long-term affordable rentals or residential leases of state-owned property, which very clearly states that if you have an owner-occupied house on your property and you also have an affordable rental, the fact that you live on the property in your owner-occupied house negates your opportunity to get the tax relief for long-term affordable rentals. There's a housekeeping item that needs to be dealt with. The language very clearly states that anyone who's got owner-occupied on your property with a rental is going to take a massive tax hit, and it violates due process to say that should that occur, we will capriciously and arbitrarily allow some county employee to say that this law, this ordinance doesn't apply to some people, but it does apply to other people, and you don't provide any guidelines for that, and thus you're going to violate people's due process. I also have an issue which we talked about last time, which is in Section 2F, and there is an utter lack of due process. I would say I find it horrific that you would have, that the county would have a director who doesn't have to have any evidence. All they have to have is a bunch of information. They're not required to find out whether or not the information is true or not. And then they can go ahead and raise somebody's property taxes, and you find out your taxes have been raised after the fact. And so, number one, in the providing notice to the owner of the property should be done before you raise the taxes, not after. And you want to give them a chance to address the information that doesn't have to be factual.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to testify? Not? You want to go for a second, Drew?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more. So really, I'm asking you to please read the plain text language of that and realize that the language needs to change. I don't see why you want to punish someone for the taxes before you have the actual determination that they're in violation. So the director, somebody is upset with their neighbor, they film the fact that their kids come home from college or whatever, their family comes to visit, there's people going in and out of the house, you take videos of it, you go to the director and say, oh, they're running some kind of vacation operation, when in fact it's nothing but family and friends. If the director chooses to, the director can say, oh, I got this video of all these people going in and out of the house. We're going to whack their taxes. We're going to disallow them and raise the tax. To me, this is like utterly got due process backwards. Right? The director needs more than anonymous complaints to protect my wallet, the public's wallet, because the public gets sued, not the director, not you guys, the public gets sued. And this is like begging us to get sued because we made the mistake of believing some civilian who has given no oath that what they say is correct. All they got to do is give the information to the director. This truly needs to be looked at and rewritten. Now, I totally agree with what you're trying to do, which is to prevent people from claiming tax exemptions that they're not entitled to. I'm 100% with that. But it's the methodology you use to accomplish that bothers me. So please, go back and revisit that language and tighten it up, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Elena Oakman for the record. I'm in agreement with the previous testifier. Nowadays, the housing crisis is so deep and so far out. There's so many people who are just extended family living together. And I've seen mothers taking in cousins and families just trying to make it happen. And if somebody complains from the neighborhood, and the tax rate will come up, it's not easy for anyone already, so we just need to figure out how can we really support in situation people who are supporting others, friends and family. I've talked to Ravenna, she said she has 12 people. It's like everybody's trying to survive. We don't need more people in the streets. Some people don't have big families. If they do have big families, they can lean on, but somebody does not. And they end out on the streets, and then we'll have to pick them up from the streets. How can we let it more difficult? I've seen lots of ads nowadays, people renting bedrooms. I don't think they're doing it because they want to do it, just because they need to survive, and they're also helping others. So many individuals coming here as professionals, like now we need mental health professionals, right? And so many people coming as professionals, and they cannot find an affordable place to stay. And affordability nowadays is even $1,800 for a single person. You can hardly find a lot for that. So that's not I'm asking to be able to find a way how people who are supporting families, family members, and just to be able to justify if something happens, the neighbor call, and they know they have a process how they can be dealing with this in a good manner. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify? Seeing none, I'll call the meeting back to order. Any further discussion? Councilor Carter.
All right, I have two comments I want to make. One is with Mr. Syko's comment on item B. And first of all, this is second read, so it is not first read. So this is done today. Item B, which is existing code, can't be changed because it's not part of the intention of this bill for an ordinance. And then on item F, I'm in agreement with the testifiers that this is another overreach of authority. And I support the intention of having people pay their appropriate level of taxation, but I don't think this does do the right amount of due process, and that I think people live in fear of helping others. If you have somebody who's willing to complain about you, there's so many rules and regulations. You don't even know that you're making a mistake if you help somebody park their vehicle that maybe has a commercial sign on it, or whatever. I'm just grabbing at things, but the process is too weak for me, and so I don't feel that it is fair that we'd probably get at least as many people wrongly caught in the trap as we would accurately. So I won't be supporting the bill.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Kanashiro?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I think Council Member Cotton already stated it, but yeah, Section 2B is not is already a part of the bill. We had no changes to it, so that's why we couldn't change it. And it is not true that if you have multiple units there, some rented long-term and an owner is there, then they're not going to get that rate. It's actually a requirement that the owner, if the owner is on there, then they get the owner-occupied rate. And then if you're renting it long-term, then you get to continue to have that low rate and all of the benefits. So I don't think it needs to be written here. That's the way it's being implemented. That's the way it is.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Hang on. Let him make his comments and then you can...
And then regarding the second part on Section F, it specifically says, if the director obtains documents, photos, reports, or other credible information indicating that a tenant does not occupy the residence. So we're not saying hearsay, we're not saying any of that. It's credible information for them to relook at it. And I think the Scott's also mentioned that they give them, they mail them information that their taxes are going to change and there's opportunity. It's not they're just going to be surprised by a bill. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Go ahead.
My question is, on B, I want it to be correct what you're saying. So I'm just asking when it says, any owner of real property tax that is rented or leased as a long-term affordable rental shall receive the long-term affordable rental tax rate as provided in Section 5A 6.4, which I'm not looking at right here, provided that all dwellings on the property are long-term affordable rentals or residential leases. So probably if I looked at 5A-6.4, it would say that is, if it's owner occupant right there, because this doesn't clearly specify. So I try not to get too hard on my computer or my phone, but we might need to look at that. I understood what he was saying, and I want it to be that this is fine.
I think
that'll take another bill.
Yeah,
We'll take another bill.
I think you should suspend the rules and ask Scott if someone's living on their property and is owner occupied and they have long-term rentals. Does them living on the property preclude them from getting this long-term rental? And
okay.
I know what the answer is going to be. It's
know
no,
that's
but
the
you should
answer.
ask it.
Yeah, because that question has been asked and answered how many times?
It's
This
just
is
the
not
wording.
about owner occupant. This is about getting the exemption for long-term rentals. That owner occupant is a whole separate issue. I'm not sure where Mr. Psycho says where he got that information that it prohibits you. It doesn't, because if you're the owner occupant, you get the credit.
Okay,
It is what it is. I mean,
I can
this
look at
just
it later.
allows, if you have multiple rentals on your property that you're not there, all of the rentals have to be affordable for you to get the benefit.
And yeah, I believe that section was addressing if you have multiple units, you can't rent one at long-term rental and then the other one's at fair market value and they get the whole property at the long-term rental. I think is probably what that section was trying to address. But
Okay. And then just a small comment, and we all have our own opinions. The word credible to me is kind of a loose word. So I definitely noticed that word is in there, that it needs to be a credible element, but I'm holding my position. But, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? I'll just say, I heard testimony about people taking people in, and that's going to impact the exemption. It's not. I mean, you can bring as many people as you want, as long as you live in the house that you have your exemption. But yeah, you can have anyone come in. You can have visitors come in from the mainland, and again, the devil's in the details, I guess. But an anonymous complaint is not credible information. It's not. If you get a call, hey, my neighbor not living in a house, that's not credible information. The director shall provide written notice to any owner whose property does not qualify. I think they've stated that, and I think as Mr. Conisher said, that letter goes out before the action is taken. So the homeowner will have an opportunity to clarify or to validate the action that is being proposed by the tax office. So I'm comfortable with that. I think the credible information is the key for me. And there's no way that the tax office is going to revoke someone's exemption or credit because they got an anonymous call. It's just not going to happen. And anybody else? Go ahead.
Just one quick thing too. So I remember when they came before us and the younger person went through, because he was one of the ones that go house to house or put the tags on the doors and do follow-up calls. It does sound to me like they will do multiple attempts and follow up, and so the credible becomes verifiable, justifiable after thorough follow through. And I think at some point we just have to trust them when they tell us this is our process and this is what we do, that they're really giving the citizens as much of a chance to make corrections, and they only want to do what's right. They don't want to be punitive.
There's no more discussion. The motion is to approve. Roll call.
Councilmember Bolosan?
Aye.
Councilmember Carvalho?
Aye.
Councilmember Cowden?
No.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaneshiro?
Aye.
Councilmember Kuali'i?
Aye.
Council Chair Pozo?
All right,
6 ayes, 1 no.
thank you. Next item, please.
The last item is Bill Number 2996, a bill for an ordinance amending Chapter 17, Article 1, Kauaʻi County Code 1987 as amended, relating to the general provisions relating to motor vehicles and traffic regulations and related fees.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or public testimony? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Bolosan?
Aye.